All right, let's get right into it and open up the essential toolkit for any successful business analyst. Welcome to this training from Oasis&Brooks Ltd, where we're going to dive straight into the core techniques that'll empower you to create some real, tangible business value. So you have to wonder, right? How do the top BAs do it? How do they look at a tangled, complex business problem and somehow turn it into a successful solution? Well, the answer is actually simpler than you think. They're not just guessing. They have the right tools for the job, and more importantly, they know exactly which tool to pull out at the right time. And that definitive toolkit has a name. It's the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, or as we all know it, the BABOK Guide. Think of it as the gold standard for our profession. It gives us a solid framework and a whole set of proven techniques to navigate pretty much any business challenge you can think of. So here's how we're going to break it down in this explainer. We're going to look at some of the most crucial tools from that kit, and we've grouped them by what they help you do. First, we'll cover tools for understanding people. Then, we'll get into the numbers with tools for analyzing financials. And finally, we'll look at the tools you need for managing the work itself. Okay, let's dive in. Every single project, no matter what it is, starts with people. So these are the tools you're going to use to really connect with your stakeholders and get to the bottom of their needs, their challenges, and the opportunities they see. First up, the interview. Think of this as your surgical scalpel. It's what you use to uncover those hidden workflows and unwritten rules that you'll just never find in a process diagram. Imagine this. You're improving an old inventory system. In a one-on-one interview, a warehouse manager might let it slip that they have this critical manual workaround they use to track high-value items. That little detail was never documented, but it's absolutely essential for the new system to work. That's the kind of gold you get from an interview. But, if an interview is a scalpel, then a focus group, well, that's your barometer for the collective feeling in the room. Let's say you're launching a new feature for a mobile app. In a focus group, one person might casually mention an icon is a little confusing, and then suddenly someone else chimes in, "Yeah, I thought so too." And before you know it, you've uncovered a major usability issue. That shared feedback, born right there from that group interaction, it's way more powerful than just one person's comment. So here's the bottom line. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job. Do you need to surgically extract a hidden process, like our warehouse manager's secret workaround? Use an interview. Or do you need to see how a group of users really feel about your new app feature? A focus group is absolutely perfect. You're choosing between individual depth and group synergy. All right, so we've got the people part down, but now you have to actually justify the cost and the effort. So we're shifting gears from people to the hard numbers that really drive business decisions. This is where financial analysis comes in. This is how you prove that a change is a worthwhile investment. You have to weigh everything: the initial costs to build it, the ongoing costs to run it, and most importantly, the expected financial benefits. For that inventory system we talked about, a BA might calculate that a $100,000 investment will slash inventory errors and staff overtime, saving the company $150,000 every single year. Now that is a clear win. And what's so powerful is how a simple table like this can make the entire decision crystal clear. You see the initial cost right there as a negative number, but then you watch those positive benefits stack up over year 1, year 2, and beyond. It just visualizes the return on investment beautifully and makes an abstract financial case totally tangible and easy to defend. Of course, hand in hand with financial analysis is estimation. I mean, where did that $100,000 initial cost come from anyway? It came from forecasting the resources, the time, and the money you're going to need. It is the absolute foundation of any credible financial plan. And this quote from the BABOK Guide really hits the nail on the head. See, estimation isn't about pulling a single magic number out of thin air. It's about professionally managing uncertainty. So instead of saying, this project will cost exactly $100,000, a seasoned BA says, it will likely cost between $90,000 and $115,000, and we have a 90% confidence level in that range. That's honest, it's realistic, and it builds incredible credibility by setting the right expectations from the start. Okay, we're in the home stretch. We've understood the people, we've justified the cost. Now we've got to look at the tools that actually keep a project on track. This is all about managing the work to ensure it delivers real quality and value. For this one, I want you to think of yourself as a city planner, but for data. So our new inventory system, it needs to pull sales data from the e-commerce platform and send shipping updates to the logistics partner system. Interface analysis is how you map out these data highways to make sure they're built correctly. It prevents those catastrophic breakdowns that happen when systems can't talk to each other. Like when an order gets paid for but never ships because the data got stuck in traffic?
Next up is item tracking. This is your project's central nervous system for any and all issues. Whether it's a bug, a question from a developer, or a scope concern, you log it, you assign it, and you track it until it is resolved, period. During testing, if a new barcode scanner fails to read a label, that could halt the entire shipping process. Item tracking makes sure that critical issue gets to the right person immediately so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. It's all about accountability.
And this tool, Lessons Learned, is how you turn raw experience into real organizational wisdom. After a project wraps up, the team gets together to reflect. It's a structured, blame-free zone where you can capture what worked and, just as importantly, what didn't. This makes sure all that hard-won knowledge isn't lost, and it turns the investment in this one project into a down payment on the success of all the projects that come next. And the entire Lessons Learned session really boils down to these 3 simple but incredibly powerful questions. For our inventory project, the team might realize those daily check-ins with a warehouse staff worked really well. They might also note that getting stakeholders to show up for testing could be improved. But the absolute key is that last question. Figuring out how to apply these learnings is what turns experience into true, repeatable success. So there you have it. When you put it all together, the tools to understand people, the techniques to validate financial value, and the processes to manage the work with discipline, you get a complete, incredibly powerful toolkit. Mastering these is how you diagnose problems, design valuable solutions, and deliver change that actually lasts. So as we wrap this up, I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. Think about the tools we've just discussed, from those surgical interviews to planning data highways, to turning experience into wisdom. Which one of those tools in your personal kit needs a little bit of sharpening to make you an even more effective business analyst?